Hello, everybody. What we're going to do today is completing the square, and from that we can find the center and the radius of a circle. Uh, if we have a plus 5 all squared, this is a square, obviously. And what does that equal? It equals a plus 5 times a plus 5. Now, if you do the distributive property here, and you combine like terms and like that, you get a squared plus 10a plus 25. Now, if you'll notice, 25 is half of the linear term squared. If you take half of 10, it's 5, and 5 squared is 25. That's kind of the basis for what we're going to do when we're completing the square. So to complete the square, the first thing we do is we move the constant to the other side. Remember, typically what we do is we set the quadratic equal to 0. But this one, we do not do that. So if we have this, if we have x squared plus 6x minus 40 equals 0, and what we want to do is we want to move the 40 over to the other side, and we get x squared plus 6x. We're going to skip a little space here to complete the square. We're going to add 40 to each side equals 40. Now remember, up here what we said was we take half of the linear term, that's the middle one, and then square it will give us 25. So we take half of 6. Half of 6 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. We add 9 to this side. Now this is an equation. So whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Now this is a perfect square because we just made it one. It's x plus 3 all squared equals 49. Now we'll do something more with this later, but that's basically how we do this. It's really pretty simple. Okay, what if we have this? What if we have b squared minus 10b minus 70 equals 5? Now remember, the first thing we do, excuse me, the first thing we do is we move the constant to the other side. So we add 70 to each side, and we get b squared minus 10b. We're going to skip a little space to complete the square, equals 75. Now we take half of 10. Doesn't make any difference that it's positive or negative, because when you square it, then it's going to come out positive. So half of 10 is 5, and 5 squared is 25. Okay, half of 10 is 5, 5 squared is 25. Now we added 25 to this side, so we have to add 25 to this side. So we get this. This is a perfect square, and that is b minus 5 all squared. Now to get this term right here, we take half of the linear term. Half of negative 10 is negative 5 all squared equals 100. Okay? Okay. Now, in completing the square to find the center and the radius of a circle, we'll go into that in just a second. What if we get this? X squared plus y squared plus 8x plus 10y minus 20 equals 39. Now here we have two variables. So what we're going to do is we're going to get those together. But first of all, we're going to move the constant to the other side. And we're going to group the x's together and group the y's together. So we get x squared plus 8x. We're going to skip a little space here to complete the square. Plus y squared plus 10y. Skip a little space to complete the square, equals 59. Now we take half of, excuse me, half of 8 is 4, and 4 squared is 16. And remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. It's an equation. And again, we take half of 10 is 5, and 5 squared is 25 plus 25. Okay, this is a perfect square, and this is a perfect square. It is x plus 4 all squared plus y plus 5 all squared equals, what does that equal? 100. Let's see, that's 41, yeah, 100. Okay, now, this is the form we want because the center and the radius of a circle, the form of a circle is this. It's x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equals the radius squared. Now h and k are just like x and y. We just had to give them a different name. So, but they're still coordinates. But we just had to give them another name so as not to get confused with this x and this y. So what does this look like? It's this. Okay, so the center of the circle, the center of this circle is negative h. This is h, and this is k, and this is the radius squared. Okay, so we're going to have, so the center of our circle here is going to be, the center of the circle is going to be, because it's negative h, it's going to be CENTER is negative 4 and negative 5. Because the formula says minus h minus k, so we just use the opposite of whatever those numbers are. And the radius, now 100 is r squared, so what does r equal? 10, square root of that. Okay. I know this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense at first. There's an awful lot going on here, but they're really very easy. Okay, let me see if I can find another one here. Okay, this one we want the coordinates of the center of the circle, and it's, let me see if I can do this. We want to find the coordinates of the center of the circle. No, that doesn't help much. We want the coordinates of the center of the circle and its radius. Well, let me show you this. Nope, never mind. Okay. If we have this, if we have x minus 3 all squared plus y minus 2 all squared equals 25. Now the center of the circle is going to be negative h, negative k. So what's minus a minus 3 is a positive 3 and 2. And the radius is, this is r squared. So what does r equal? The radius is going to be 5. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's do let's do this. Mm-hmm. 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 All right, what if we have this? Uh, hmm. Well. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, let's do this. X squared plus 10x plus y squared minus 6y equals 14. Okay, we're going to group the x's together. They already are. Group the y's together. They already are. So we're going to get x squared plus 10x, skip a little space to complete the square, plus y squared minus 6y, skip a little space to complete the square, equals 14. Now half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25 plus 25. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Okay, so again, this is a perfect square and this is a perfect square. This is x plus 5, all squared. If you're not sure about what this number is, it's always going to be half of the linear term here. Plus y, what is it? Plus minus 3, all squared, equals 39. 39 9 48, I think. Okay. So what's the center of our circle here? C-E-N-T-E-R is negative h, negative k. And this is r squared. So the center is negative 5, comma 3, the opposite of these numbers, because it's negative h, negative k. And our radius is the square root of 48, because r squared is 48. And how do we find r? Take the square root of everything. Okay? Okay, now what if we have this? If we have b squared plus c squared plus 12b plus 14c equals 32. Okay, we're going to group the b's together and group the c's together. So we have b squared, okay, plus 12b, skip a little space to complete the square, plus c squared plus 14c, skip a little space to complete the square, equals 32. Excuse me. Half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is, was it 36? I think. Added 36 here, so we have to add 36 here. Half of 14 is 7. 7 squared is 49. Okay. This is a perfect square, and this is a perfect square. This is b plus 6, all squared. And remember, to get this number here, it's just half of the linear term, sine and all. Plus c plus 7, all squared, equals, what is it, 60. Oh, let's use our handy dandy calculator here. So 32 and 36 is 68. And 49. Who made this problem up? 117. I think that's right. Okay, these are perfect squares. Okay, this is negative h, negative k, and r squared. So the center is negative 6 comma negative 7, and our radius is the square root of 117. Oh, you know what? 9 will go into 117, I think. It's not that I don't believe myself, it's just that I don't believe myself. The rule for divisibility by 3 or 9 is called the sum of the digits. Add the digits together. 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 7 is 9. Will 9 go into 9? Yes. So then 117 is also divisible by 9. So we have 117 divided by 9 is 13. So the radius is the square root of 9 times 13. The square root of 9 is 3. Comes out of the radical. If you left it like this, I'd be okay with this. But your college algebra professor may not be. Okay? Let me do one more. D squared plus E squared plus 4D plus 6E plus 7 equals 10. Okay, remember the first thing we do is we move the constant to the other side, and we group the D's and E's together. D squared plus 4D, is that right? Skip a little space to complete the square, plus E squared plus 6E, skip a little space, equals 17. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, so we added 4 there, add 4 over here. And that's going to be, and half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is, that's supposed to be a 9, plus 9. That equals 30, I think. These are perfect squares because we made them such. It is D plus 2, all squared, plus E plus 3, all squared, equals 30. So our center is -2, okay, h and k, -h, -k, and -3. And our radius is the square root of 30. Okay, and we'll go over this a little bit more in more detail Thursday. All right, y'all take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.